Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow.
Welcome back to another episode of Lone Star College Football. We've got our way too early Big 12 standings video for y'all. Got Jason from Hall of Fame College Football Podcast. Y'all make sure, listen, he does Oklahoma stuff, and I know he just lost a lot of y'all. But if you're a fan of college football and you want a good podcast, he goes live pretty often. He's very interactive with the chat, and he covers other stuff. He covers conference realignment, he covers some things on Colorado, recruiting. He if you want to be in the know,
I
of
hate
college
Texas
football,
less lately than the rest of the Big 12. So if you're a Texas fan,
yeah, there you go. There's your reason. Let's jump on into this. We're going to start with Texas. All right, let's do it week by week. Obviously, Texas and Oklahoma, like we were just talking about, they're in a prime position for the conference this year.
Yeah.
And last year, when you looked at the Big 12, you kind of thought, man, the Big 12 kind of has some depth. TCU was up, Kansas State was up, Texas was up, and then ironically at that time, Oklahoma was down. Baylor had a bad bounce back year. And this year, it seems like it's a little bit different. It seems like there's a clear what should be the top of the pack.
I kind of feel like that's maybe is this the hangover of COVID where you had those super seniors with TCU. I mean,
Yeah.
I think we both agree that TCU had a lot of 25-year-olds playing, and so now they're gone. That all those guys are pretty much, they changed out most of their program as far as like starters are concerned. And then look at what happened with Okie Light and Baylor, and I feel like Baylor should be good, but I don't know. You know what I mean? So
TCU had a thing with their super seniors, but also the transfer portal. And you're going to see a lot more teams. The more you hit the transfer portal, the more you're going to see those one-hit wonder teams, because it's going to be difficult to maintain success when you're not recruiting that success in. But let's start with Texas. Week 1, as Josh Pate, for anybody who's ever watched the Late Kick Show with Josh Pate, we play food week 1. We got rice at home. You don't lose to food. He does. You don't lose to food. Rice is an easy win. Nobody's going to argue that. If we lose to rice, I'm just going to quit watching college football altogether.
The show is over after that? Is that what happens?
The show would be over for a while. I don't know. It would take, unless we beat Bama in week 2, it would take me a while to come back and make another video if we lost to rice.
I can see that.
So let's just start with Alabama. Obviously, we're traveling on the road. I think they've got the point spread at like 9.5. Bama, obviously.
That's a way too early point spread, but okay.
Yeah. Do I think we could win that game? I mean, I can't tell you that we can't win that game after the way we played them last year.
You should win that game. If you're going to beat Alabama ever, this is the time to do it.
Well, last year was the time to do it. But this year is the next best thing because let
me tell you why. In Tuscaloosa is one thing, but the reason I'm saying that is they've got a new quarterback, and new coordinators on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
And I don't know that anybody thinks a whole lot of these new quarterbacks, but I'm going to tell you, Tommy Rees, bro, as the offensive coordinator, I'm not. I think this is the time. At least they had Bryce Young last year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but Bama's kind of one of those. Does offensive coordinator really matter when you're running Nick Saban's scheme?
Nick Saban's offense either way. Yeah.
And here's the thing: Jalen Milroe, Texas fans, y'all should be very familiar with him. He was committed to Texas. When Quinn Ewers committed to Texas, he decommitted and went to Alabama, and then obviously Quinn ended up decommitting.
Does he have the job though? Is he for sure going to have this job?
I think so. Okay.
All right.
Here's the reason. Here's the thing, though. They're not just losing Bryce Young. They're not just losing. They're also losing their starting running back, Jahmyr Gibbs. They are losing. I think they're 125th on returning production out of 131 FBS teams. They are 125th. Now
again, though, Bama, they also recruit at the top of the heat
because they recruit so well.
Year after year.
Talent.
Yes.
And we're playing in Tuscaloosa. I have this game as a loss for Texas, mainly because until I see it, how can I give us a win on the road? our thing is playing worse on the road.
Right.
I don't see how I can just way too early predict. No, come summer ball, Quinn Ewers is out there throwing the ball like a Heisman quarterback, maybe. But right
How does
now,
it look right
I have
now?
us.
How's it been looking right now? I've been meaning to ask you that. They look good.
Yeah, so far, Coach Sark has talked about like this competition through spring ball. I think most of us think that it's going to be Quinn no matter what. Malik Murphy was kind of taking a step back on some injury things with his ankle. So Arch Manning has been taking 2 reps, his second team reps, until yesterday when Malik came back. So I think Quinn's got it. He seems to be more physical, more vocal as a leader. I think he's going to take some
Cut
steps
the
forward.
mullet off.
He did. He cut the mullet off. So we'll see. We'll see. Wyoming. I don't predict us to have problems with Wyoming.
No.
Isaiah Nayor, he came from there. He's going to get to play. Hopefully, he'll be healthy for his old team. They're not really a school that you have too much concern with. A lot of these schools aren't. But
Most of the
getting into
Mountain West
conference-
doesn't get too concerned with Wyoming.
Right. Moving on. You just stop me if you disagree. Baylor,
Go ahead.
Logan, I appreciate you, bud. I think Baylor should take a step, a good step even. You'll see whenever we get there. But I don't think that I think Blake Shapen will be better. I don't think your offense is going to be good enough. I think our defense, what did we really lose?
I think they have a great running game. I think that my worry
Richard
about
Reese.
them is I think my worry with Baylor is that I'm not positive that their defense is going to be any better. If Ika's not in the lineup next year, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I'm positive that their defense is going to be worse. I'm positive on that. Because it's Siaki Ika that they lost, but it's also Dylan Doyle, their best linebacker, who also, to be fair, lined up as fullback and scored touchdowns on offense.
That's pretty
awesome. They're missing.
That's how bad they were last year, though.
Yeah.
And they still beat Oklahoma.
Now, but like you said, Richard Reese is electric. And if Baylor goes out there and gets the run game going and we can't stop it, although I will say last year our thing was we only had 2 running backs break 100 on us all year.
Gary's still around, right?
No, Gary stepped away. Gary stepped down, yeah. But he said in an interview, he's stepping down to spend time with his family. And he said if the football season comes around and he has an itch to coach, that he hopes Coach Sark would have him back. Which means if he wants to coach, Coach Sark's going to have him back. But Gary Patterson's not with the program anymore.
I didn't even know that. When did this happen?
Oh, yeah. A couple weeks ago.
That's freaking awesome. I need to do a video.
We should have posted a video about that. We didn't do that. Yeah. It's been slow 2 months. It gets interesting come week 5. Kansas. We murdered them last year, and I don't feel confident. I think Kansas is going to take another step next year. What do you think about that?
Listen, this would be one of those, I think you should win the game. But I'm telling you now that when you start talking about this guy, Daniels is an unbelievable talent. And I think we talked about this we talked about this off of air, dude. I think that Lance Leipold is one of the best coaches in the country that nobody talks about. He's like another Kyle Whittingham to me. The dude, he's won multiple national titles at a lower level. The guy knows how to coach, and he's in the comfort zone. He's in a place that they don't have huge expectations, and he's got electric players on that team. Could you lose it?
Yeah.
Probably. Will you? You shouldn't. But you've had issues with these guys before.
I have it as a win. I will say, like I said, we have had issues with them before. However, last year when we played them, we played Daniels. We didn't play the other quarterback. We ended up playing Daniels. We beat them like 55 to 14. Bijan Robinson went for like 200 some odd rushing yards.
Obviously, Bijan and Roshan aren't coming back, but I believe your line is better, and you're still going to have great running backs. Yeah.
So if we're able to run the ball, we control the game. Should not be a problem. Moving in to Red River week
this is 6. Where you catch an L. This is where you catch an L.
No, sir.
It's going to happen, bro. Sorry.
All right, let me spill it out, then you spill yours. Oklahoma y'all are gonna be improved, and we'll get to them next. They're the next team we're gonna talk about. Y'all are gonna be improved. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
Dylan Gabriel does not play defense. Dylan Gabriel would not have made y'all win last year. 49-0. We could have scored 75 on them boys. I think it'll be a much closer game. Don't get me wrong. I'm not predicting a blowout. But I think our offense, although we're losing our biggest piece, obviously, Bijan Robinson, like you said, we recruit that position so well. We're going to have talent.
Got the number one running back in the country from
our offensive. Right. Our offensive line, all 5 are returning. Quinn Ewers takes a step forward. Xavier Worthy played half of last season with a broken hand. He's going to be better. Isaiah Nayor being healthy with A.D. Mitchell coming in from Georgia. Jonte Cook's going to get on field. Jay Witt's coming back. Our offense is going to be electric. I think Oklahoma's defense is going to take a step forward. Y'all recruit too well to not.
Bro,
and BV is a defensive-minded coach. However, our offense is also taking a step. So 49 points, maybe we don't score that many. But I would be hard-pressed to believe that we don't find a way to get ourselves into the 30s. And our defense, we lost DeMarvion Overshown. I'll give you that. We got Anthony Hill. He's a true freshman. This will be week 6. I think he's going to be the starter. And if not, David Benda has been talked very highly about. The only other person that we really lost on defense that's like the big hit, I say the only other, obviously, Keandre Coburn, Moro Ojomo, they were nice additions. They weren't studs up top. Deshaun Jameson was a pretty nice DB for him, but he's 5'9". He was undersized. He wasn't a freak athlete, but he was fast. I think our defense is in a position to although maybe we lost our best player, which I would argue that we didn't because I think Jalen Ford is our best player. I think our defense is actually in a position to take a step forward. I don't have a score prediction this early. I do believe that we go back-to-back and take down the crappy Oklahoma Sooners.
Okay, well, you know what? Why don't we save my prediction for the Oklahoma video? Because I'm saying W here for Oklahoma.
Yeah,
and we'll just move forward. Yeah.
We'll move on to a week 7 bye week, which we share with Oklahoma. That's interesting. I'm pretty sure, right?
Kind of weird, right?
Yeah. And Baylor has a week 7 bye week as well. It's weird now that we have 14 teams. The bye weeks fall on like so many teams get a lot of them. We'll move into week 8. Houston. Okay. Houston last year, and this is what I was telling Jason earlier. When it comes to these new 4 teams, I didn't follow them last year. So I've done some research on them. I don't have a ton. So if y'all are watching this video and y'all are a Houston, Cincy, BYU, or UCF fan, and
they were not good. They were not.
Their quarterback was good. From what I gathered, their quarterback was pretty good.
They UTSA should have won the game against them. It got worse after that for Houston. Cold. They lost to Kansas, and I mean, obviously Kansas had a good season before Daniels went down. Yeah. But what I'm going to tell you is that they were having real issues. Fighting on the sidelines during the game against Kansas, where I mean and Dana Holgorsen after the game says, "I'm not taking responsibility for this. This looks like a dumpster fire to me. It's really close to Okie Light dumpster fire. Maybe not quite that bad, but close.
As bad.
Yes. So I don't think that he makes it. I would not be surprised if Dana Holgorsen didn't make it out of the midpoint of the season. To be quite honest with you. Because I just don't think they're that good. And, yeah, you guys are going to beat the brakes off them dudes. No doubt about it.
I have Texas beating Houston. I have Texas. We'll just – BYU, I have that as a win. They're losing their quarterback. BYU is a team that they beat Texas the last 2 times they played them with Taysom Hill.
They've never lost to Oklahoma.
Taysom Hill has made a good NFL career as being that gadget player. So I'm not going to sit here and say we lost to a crappy quarterback. I mean, he may not be the best quarterback, but he's a gadget. He's a gadget guy and has an NFL career. Kansas State.
Football player.
Yeah. Here, I'm just going to go through. You stop me if you disagree. Kansas State, they don't have Deuce Vaughn. Adrian Martinez. That's their quarterback. Who was the other one? Was it Will Howard or something like that?
Will Howard is their quarterback now. Adrian's gone, right?
Adrian Martinez is gone. Martinez was the runner. Will Howard was actually a quarterback and could actually throw the ball pretty nice, really. But Deuce Vaughn was most of their offense. They did. I don't recall a stud receiver. Am I missing a name? I don't recall them having a guy that was just like you got to watch out for him a ton. Their defense was
No, I
nice.
mean they're solid, but they're solid, but they do things a little different. Yeah, I think that K-State is going to be pretty similar to last year. I know without Deuce's, but they're still they had some other guys that were good. What I would tell you is you're going to see more of a. I think that if this is a team that could beat Texas, possibly.
Okay.
But you guys don't seem to have the same issue with them that Oklahoma does. So maybe not. I do not doubt that y'all win this game. What I would tell you is that this is a quarterback that's probably the best throwing the football that you've seen in that 6 years winning streak, right? And they're going to have to rely on that. What that means, it may not mean anything. But I don't think that they really take a step back this year because and Kleiman's another one of those guys that I think he's a really good coach. I think that they're going to be in contention for this thing late in the season. I think.
I agree.
I think that they're the third best team in this conference.
I don't agree with that, but we'll get to there.
Okay, go ahead.
We'll get to that. I think they'll be contention, but I don't know about the third best.
Okay. Who's your third? Should it be Baylor, I guess?
My third is Kansas.
Okay.
I think Kansas is taking a step, dude.
That's a real step.
We'll get there. We're going to get there.
Okay. Go ahead.
After Kansas State, we travel and play TCU. I have that as a dub. I think TCU is going to have a down year from making a natty to
they're toast.
Scraping the bottom of the barrel.
At
the very bottom.
I think it starts week 1 and doesn't get much better. Yep.
Doesn't get much better. Iowa State. Listen, Texas fans. We only leave the state of Texas twice, in week 2 and week 12. Yeah. But Iowa State, listen. Xavier Hutchinson. It's gone. Hunter Deckers is not a bad quarterback. I actually think Hunter Deckers can be solid. And that Noel guy, that Noel receiver, I don't remember his first name. He was pretty good.
He's good.
He's not Xavier Hutchinson. Mm-mm. I think their defense, the state of Iowa, their defense is always going to be some semi-solid.
That's what Matt Campbell does, bro. That's what Matt Campbell does.
But their offense just isn't. They don't have Breece Hall anymore. They don't have Brock Purdy. Now they don't have Hutchinson. They're losing all their key guys. I have a dub there. And then we get Texas Tech at home. We're going to have the revenge tour. All right. We're not going to lose to Texas Tech. We lost to them because they had Donovan. What's his name? Donovan Smith or something like that. Or am I thinking of somebody else? He was super mobile quarterback. We played him early. It was the week. It was the week after. No, it was 2 weeks after Quinn got hurt. So he played against Hudson Card. That Bijan fumble in overtime was a fluke. Bijan run that play again. Right? Bijan does not fumble that ball.
He never fumbled the ball. That was so weird to me.
With that being said, I have Texas at 11-1. I have our ceiling at 11-1. I will not put our ceiling at 12-0 because Texas is gonna lose a game. Even if we beat Bama week 2 and Oklahoma week 6, I bet we drop a game.
Because I just have to.
We do it.
Yeah.
I have our floor being 9-3, and that would be worst case scenario that we lost to Bama, Kansas, and Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. If I had to pick a fourth team that we could potentially lose to, it probably would be a Kansas State. Mm-hmm. And only because their defense might be okay. I would say Baylor, but I just don't trust y'all's defense to be anywhere near good enough.
Right. Okay.
What do you have us at? I also have us finishing first in the Big 12, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, and I mean, we've talked about this. I feel like that this last year in the Big 12, Oklahoma and Texas should be playing in the championship game. Either way that goes, whether in the Red River, I don't really see a lot of losses for either side. If you were going to lose a game, I see you maybe losing the Bama game, and I see you losing Oklahoma. But I have a hard time believing that you're going to lose to even I think BYU is better than you do, but I do. But I also think that you get them at home, and you should be able to win there. The TCU, I mean, Kansas State, maybe, but that again, that's a home game, and I just feel like I don't see a lot of L's here. I guess if there was another team that I could, I mean, if we see Baylor from 2 years ago, maybe. I don't see that right now, and so I have a hard time
They don't
with
have
it.
the receivers.
And Texas Tech, I don't trust. I just don't trust them. Even though I like Joey McGuire, I don't like
I think
Texas
Joey McGuire is solid. I hate Texas Tech, but
So
I think Joey McGuire is actually a nice coach.
I do too, and
I
think he's a very good. He's a legendary coach in the state of Texas at high school, and he is able to recruit very well. He recruited a top 25 class. That never ever happens at Tech.
And I think he was on the staff that 2 years ago when Baylor won.
He was, and hey,
he was their offensive coordinator.
If we're about to find out that he was the reason that they were that good, and Baylor let him get out and kept Dave Aranda.
We're gonna get to Baylor here in a minute.
Gonna hate me for this, but anyway, if there was some other teams that I could see, you're not going to lose to all of them. But if there were some other roadblocks, potential stumbling blocks there, your floor is 9-3. Yeah, I think 10-2, 11-1. I'm not that far off of where you're at. I feel like 10-2 is probably because I think you lose to Alabama and I think you lose to Oklahoma. But I think if you're gonna beat Alabama, it's gonna be right now because of the fact that it's just
according to my chart here, even if we did drop Bama and Oklahoma, we'd still be number 2 in the Big 12. We'd still make the Big 12 champ game.
I think so too.